Welcome back, everyone. Yeah. To another unboxing video with yours one and only Alien Sama. Today we have another Evangelion product from Revoltech. Not my most favorite brand, but they do make beautiful, beautiful robots, that is for sure. So let's get him opened up and see what he looks like. So this is the first AV unit made. AV unit 0, or I guess 0.0? I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, actually. It's been so long since I've even seen this Ava in action. The box calls it Evangelion Mark 09. Is that really what it's called? I could have sworn it was called something else. Regardless, this is the Ava unit that you will see in the remake of Evangelion. You will also see Rei with this Ava unit as well. This Ava unit went berserk. Rei was inside of it, but it comes back with a nasty vengeance, which is awesome. Oh god. I basically have all the other AV units. I have one of every AV unit. That's what I want to say. Which one do I have? I have this one from Revoltech. I have this guy from Revoltech, and now I have this one right here. I don't think... Did we unbox this guy? I know he's out of his box, but I don't know if I unboxed him for my YouTube channel. I might have had this guy way before I even started this. Maybe. Meh. Let's move on. Bought brand new for $49.99 Canadian, which is really, really cheap compared to the US dollar right now. That would only be like 30 bucks. We have a stand, which is... I never seen a Revoltech come with a stand like this, but I don't really buy Revoltechs anymore, so I'm not really in the know-how of Revoltechs. They still come with this absolutely, well, it's not absolutely useless, but it's just a little box that you can put some items in. Maybe joints, the hands. I usually store the hands inside of here, but I've since stopped storing anything outside of the box. I just take the figure out, choose what pose I want it in, whoops, and then put the remaining pieces back in. This is the amazing scythe that comes with it. The last figure of Rei that I got, she came with a similar scythe, and it looks absolutely amazing in the Revoltech form. Does this come off? No. But it looks beautiful. I absolutely love it. Very sharp, very pristine. The sculpt on Revoltechs are amazing. That's all I have to say about that. We also have a beautiful but very deadly, morbid, macabre themed base. It's a bunch of beautiful skulls. Oh my god. They're it's well sculpted, but the paint job has much to be desired. It's basically just a black paint job with an airbrush of white paint over the top. I don't think I'll fix that or touch that up. It's okay the way it is, but paint job's not the best, but that's okay. And of course you have the foot imprint for the AV unit. And what's nice though, is they did take into consideration that where the footprint was going to be pressed, that the skulls around it are crushed or broken off in some way. So there's basically the base of your stand for your AV unit. Oh! Oh! So this AV unit eventually gets its head lobbed off, unfortunately, but still manages to function even without it. There is... I don't think this is that Revoltech, but I believe there is one where it comes with a halo. No, this one does not come with the halo. There's a Revoltech or a figure, some sort of the same AV unit where the head is already off of it, and it comes with a halo that kind of floats around the wound, per se, around its neck. And then we also have 2, 4, 6 sets of hands, which is really nice. The Ava itself, which we'll take out now. And there should be some extra pieces on the bottom. Yes. Wow! Goes perfection! It's like that game where if you don't get the if the timer runs out, just the pieces pop everywhere. Oh, why? Gosh dang it. Oh, Jesus. How does this even go back in? Bloop. Yeah, we'll take care of that later. here's a bunch of extra pieces that got all lobbed up when I took it out. Oh, nice. There's a an effect. On the back of the box, I couldn't really tell what this is, but it is an effect. Something I've never been fond of is Revoltech doesn't come with instructions. At least, I don't think I've ever seen instructions for Revoltech. All the instructions are usually on the back, but they're not in English, so it doesn't really help too much. Yeah, it doesn't show anywhere on the box what this is exactly for. I'm assuming because it's the base of it is flat like this, it's mostly kind of a sidestep effect. So the Ava would be stepping sideways. This is a stomping effect on the ground, and that would be the gust of wind or a breeze, whatever you want to call it, coming out from underneath the foot. It's actually really nice. I think there might be a little bit of silver painted onto it. It's not just white, but I actually really like this effect. I plan to buy some water effects that I'll unbox for you guys. They're pretty cheap as well. And then we have the traditional Revoltech stand right here, where you just pap this on. I like that Revoltech moved away from, or at least, I'm not really sure about all Revoltech figures, but from the ones I've bought recently, they've moved away from the black base, which I'm very thankful for. I'm not a huge fan of the black base whatsoever. You know what? We're not actually going to use this, but I'll build it for you guys just so you can see what it's like. So, this would be your atypical base configuration. You put the base down, you put the arm in, and then you put your neck piece, and most Revoltechs will have this piece going up their rear or into their lower spine or their lower back. However, if you want the figure to stand much higher off the ground, you can also put this extra neck piece on, which is not hard at all. Just be careful, because I have had Revoltech arm pieces split along here because you push too hard and then you go at an angle. And then, once you have that piece, you attach this, and then you have a ridiculously long stand. The only thing I don't like about this is, yes, Revoltech gave us a nice see-through stand for the figure, so the blackness of the previous stands doesn't take away from what you see on your figure, but then you have these big white ball joints. I would like to see if Revoltech would make some clear version of these, or just give us a white stand maybe, so it all blends into each other. Or, I don't know. Revoltech, you can figure it out. You're a big company, but I can never enthuse enough how much I'm not a fan of Revoltech. I only buy Revoltech because they make Evangelion products. Anyone can make Evangelion products, but as long as it looks nice and it functions okay, I'll buy it. It can't look like crap though. But no, I really don't. I'm not a huge fan of Revoltech. Their sculpting is beautiful. Their paint jobs are amazing. I've never gotten one where I thought, oh, the paint job of this could be so much better, or I didn't feel I had to touch up any of the paint. Their paint's great. It's just the joints, and the joints might be a poor reason to not like a company, but for me, posability is really important, and the clicking, that is not okay in my books, because not only is it a sound, it makes a sound when you click it, but because of the type of joint it is, where you'll watch here, so click, that is the exact position it must be in. There is no in-between that position and this position, which for most people that's like, dude, whatever, meh. But when you're trying to do particular standing or posing, it can become an issue. Most people probably don't give a crap, but I do, and that's my personal opinion on the Revoltech joint. Now, as I said before though, or just a few minutes ago, everything else about Revoltech is amazing. The paint job, the sculpting, the likeliness of the characters, or likeliness? Yeah, the likeliness of the characters are always spot on, which is good. Some older Revoltechs, though, and I mean old as fuck, are not so good with the likeliness. Like, I think there's a Saber from Fate's Stay Night where, oh god, she looks absolutely awful. Oh god. Rebel, why? I know I can pull the Ava unit apart, but I really don't want to. So I'm just taking all this plastic off, and people who like keeping all the fuck it. People who like keeping, oh Jesus, who like keeping all the little plastic pieces can just go weep in a corner, I guess, as I rip this all apart. As you can see, there's quite a bit going on inside the Eva. However, it did fool us. It did fool me as to how flexible the torso might actually be. Because from the outside, what the hell? From the outside, it looked like there might be a lot of joints inside of his body. This piece of plastic is... Oh! Fuck! I was gonna say, this piece of plastic is right behind the eyeball. How did they expect me to get that out? I was saying... Oh, from the outside, the joints, this part of the body looks like there's a lot more joints. But there's actually only one joint. Oddly enough. So, look at that. There's only one joint for the entire, god damn it, for the entire torso. See, the last figure we did, the whole torso was extremely posable going forward. It was ridiculous. That was the robot spirit, or the spirit of robots, Ava Unit 02. Because this one is flexible, but it's not nearly as flexible as the last figure. And you can see where the actual joint begins and where it stops, because this big break open area is right there. Sad days for all. And, however, just like the robot spirit, not flexible going backwards whatsoever, because all these little platelets kind of stop you from doing that. However, I am very happy with the way this figure feels. Let's see, it's kind of hard to tell. There are 3 different types of Ava Unit Revoltechs that I've come across. One is the extremely older ones, like the mass-produced Ava Unit figures that I have. Is that supposed to be like that? No. Like the mass-produced Ava Units that I have. Oh, that's a defect. Ass. And they are the older Revoltechs. That's kind of when Revoltech just peeked its head out and started making Ava products. And it's not very flexible. It lacks a lot of things, such as the hands, for example. The hands swivel. They only swivel. They don't do this or that. They just swivel right along. So they do this weird posing. It's hard to explain. And then this would be considered the middle stage of the ones, out of the ones that I have. This one is fairly flexible. It's not the best. It does have a lot of joints that the mass-produced Ava Unit older figures do not have, which is nice. However, the Ava Unit, oh god, I think it's 06, the pink one? Let's see. It's this one, I believe. It can't be that one. Or maybe... I know it's Revoltech, but I have... It's either this one, or Ava Unit Ava Unit 2 or 06. I think that's called 06. One of those two, I have a Revoltech, and it is wonderfully posable. It's absolutely amazing. As posable as an Ava Unit should be and can be. However, this one is in the middle. It has the flexibility that you would like for an Ava Unit, but it's not that flexible. Haha! We could do it! Yes. The head joints is great, I guess. Actually, no. It's not that amazing. Something like an Ava Unit machine or robot, whatever you want to call these. If you're not familiar with Evangelion, this is not a robot that would be on the ground next to you, your height. These things are hundreds, thousands of feet tall, the size of buildings. So there's someone inside of its back right here that goes right in and they control it. But these things are very flexible in the anime and in the manga. And unfortunately, it's hard for the figures to reflect the flexibility because some of them just whiplash everywhere. If any human being tried the movements that these things do, they would have broken spines, they would have broken torsos, they would just be absolutely wrecked. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, fighting! Kung Fu Go! Yeah. But it's nice. I like it. Not the most flexible, but it's also really, really nice. And I love the yellow. I do wish, well, I guess it all depends, because it's hard to tell based on the anime if the robot is matte or if it's shiny, if it's made of lustrous metals. So something I would like to see is a change in the gloss up and down the figure. That would probably make it cost more, and I could do that myself if I wanted to. I could just paint the pieces that I want it to be more matte with matte paints. But I would like to see a not so absolutely shiny AV unit. Like this is glossy. This is glossy as well, but it has a metallic-y paint. So it does feel like it's breaking the very luxurious glossy paint job of this robot. Especially with the amount of damage they take. I would like to see a realistically damaged and dirtied up AV unit. Looks like it's about to box you. Something I do love, though, the tiniest detail I love about this Ava, though, is its head. This Ava unit is my second favorite when it comes to the shape of its head, and now I might describe something that you may never unsee, so I don't know if I should describe it. No, I won't describe it because I don't want you guys to see this AV unit in this way. It's not what I'm about to tell you. It's something else. But this AV unit does look like he's wearing a motorcycle helmet, which is really awesome and really badass. But the feature I love is that this AV unit's eye is posable. So, look at that. That is so creepy. He's like looking at you like... But the Ava, that is so awesome. I love that its eye can move. What I love even more, though, is, no, don't die. Don't have your eyes roll back into the back of your head. What I love even more, though, about the eye, other than the fact it can pose in every direction, is that there is the optical pupil right on the inside, which is awesome. It just makes it that more realistic. For only $49.99 Canadian, this figure is absolutely beautiful. The paint job is nearly spot on almost everywhere. You can see a little bit of flex where the black line that's supposed to be right down there is supposed to be, but you would only see that right now. I can kind of see it with my own eyes versus looking through the camera. Maybe you can understand what I mean by not wanting everything so glossy, because as I move, the light really disturbs some of the detail. Like, there's that nice divot detail of the back, but I can't really enjoy it or tell that it's there because it's just so glossy and the gloss just absolutely takes over. And then back down the back. I do really wish all the AV units came with their plug cords, their umbilical cord that goes into their back. I'm sure this one has one. This would be the peg hole for the stand that I was talking about, where I said the stand goes up his bum, goes up the butt. I absolutely love the sculpting on the legs. The AV units have wonderfully sculpted legs. They must do squats. And a beautiful booty. Yeah, the sculpting is beautiful. The nice, smooth. With the type of lighting I have, it really does bring out a lot of the little dents and divots that come from just the sculpting and things that manufacturally aren't perfect. None of these figures will ever be perfect. Even the most expensive figures I buy are not perfect. Which sometimes you think, well, I paid so much money for it, shouldn't it be perfect? But we don't live in a perfect world, so no, it'll never be perfect. It can just look beautiful. And the fact that we're getting this up close to it doesn't really help. I really like this too, how this piece wraps around and comes up, and then it's like an exhaust. Then we get down to the feet. I've always loved this part of the shoe. If I could find shoes that had something like this on it, or just shoes that looked exactly like that plus this, I would buy that in a heartbeat. I know there are Evangelion themed shoes, but they are quite expensive, and Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Shoes get wrecked really easily where I live because I live in Canada. It's muddy, it's rainy, it's snowy, it's not beautiful all year round. The only time it's beautiful is in the winter. Is in the summer, but even then it rains a lot where I live. So it gets muddy, and I don't want my shoes to be wrecked. And I wouldn't want to buy shoes, especially a couple $100 shoes, just to have in a display case. So let's attach some hands so he's holding the scythe and get everything set up. I'm not going to put the headpiece on where he's decapitated because basically it's just this exact same neck piece, but with a decapitated head. It is cut off, so that would be in there. It's a very nice piece. I like having the head on. I really love this AV unit. The scene where it goes berserk and it, like, starts smashing its head up against the side of the wall. Fuck, I love that scene. It's so good. And then Gendo goes down to say Ray. Oh, it's so touching. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so let's get this thing posed up in the stand that I want to use, and we'll get back in just a second. So, we have our AV unit set up the way I want it. I want the hand to be all crippled in, like I'm going to freaking destroy you, fucking destroy you. And on top of that, we have the scythe extended out all the way. I did have a little bit of an issue with the wrist joint being able to hold in the hand at this point. You can see it right there. It's kind of coming out already. The type of joints they have for the wrist are these tiny little nubs, and that's it. That's the only thing holding the hand in. So putting too much weight onto the hand, pulling outward or downward, will cause the hand to fall off. But that can easily be fixed or tightened. All you have to do is take a little toothpick, put a little bit of super glue, and I do mean super glue, like the thinnest stuff where as soon as you put it on your finger, you do this and your fingers are stuck. Take one of those, put some super glue around it, let it dry, and it makes the wrist joint, the little spine on the wrist joint, just a little bit thicker. So, let's take a close-out look. So here we have it, another Evangelion product for all you Evangelion fans out there. I know, oh god, I don't remember your name right now, but you always comment on my videos. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. You are so appreciated, and it's thanks to people like you that I love doing these videos. This AV unit was completely worth the money. If you can get a hold of this guy, get him. Get him for sure. Absolutely amazing. Despite my dislike for Revoltech's joints and just Revoltech in general, I still buy their products because they're good. Everything Revoltech has to offer outside of the type of joints that it has is absolutely worth every dollar that I spend on them. Some of them are expensive, and some of them are not, which is great. I highly encourage anyone who loves Revoltech or even robots to maybe proceed in purchasing some Revoltech items. They're really nice. If you don't care about the posability and the smoothness of a joint, then Revoltech is definitely for you. Revoltech is great. Their products are not extremely expensive. They can get a higher end with the price, but they're not out of budget, especially if you have a job where you make $10 an hour. So this product, highly recommended. The pieces that come with it are absolutely beautifully sculpted and fit right in with the toy. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's more Evangelion stuff on the way, so if you like Evangelion, subscribe and thumbs up the video to encourage me to do more videos, even though I'm gonna do more regardless.